Hello everybody! Welcome back to another episode of Skypothesis, Vanilla Skyrim character builds. This week we have a character that we are super excited to showcase, an Imperial vampire assassin. The antithesis to our previous build, the Rebel. This character has been trained to eliminate the greatest threats to the Empire. As always, we love pushing the vanilla game to its limits, creating unique characters, taking inspiration from all corners of fantasy. This has been one of our favorite builds to date, and we can't wait to showcase the Imperial Spectre. Let's get started. The Penitus Oculatus, also known as Spectres, are an elite organization of bodyguards tasked with protecting the Emperor at any cost. Recruits are only inducted by carrying out two special tasks: assassinating a target ordered to be killed by the Emperor, and convincing an intendant that they are worthy to join the force. The Imperial Spectre was chosen at a very young age to be trained as an assassin by a group of Penitus Oculatus intendants. They noticed her keen observation skills and sharp reflexes, and knew she would make a superb addition to their ranks. With her parents' permission, she left her home in Breville to be raised in a training facility in the Imperial City. Though her training was grueling, she was treated very well and quickly became their top recruit. After years of training, the time of her test arrived, and she carried out the assassination of a local nobleman. Agents of the Penitus Oculatus are taught to kill without questioning, and the Imperial Spectre was no different. She carried out the assassination quickly and quietly, and with no second thoughts. There was no question that she was set to become the best assassin in the entire force. Her next target was Einar Redmane, an influential Nord living in Bruma, who had recently been caught smuggling supplies to Stormcloak soldiers in the Jural Mountains. This former legionnaire was a traitor to the Empire and needed to be taken care of. Upon arriving in Bruma, undercover, the Imperial Spectre found that the entire Redmane clan had just fled the night before into Skyrim. She took flight and hoped to cut them off in the wilderness north of Bruma, but found herself caught in the middle of a skirmish between Stormcloaks and Imperials. Being so deep undercover, she had no way of proving she was actually an agent of the Empire, and was mistakenly shipped off to the chopping block. Miraculously, she was able to escape in the chaos of the dragon attack, and decided to head straight to Solitude to set things straight with General Tullius. The most important thing to remember when role-playing as the Imperial Spectre is that everything you do is for the good of the Empire. You are tasked with taking out anything that can possibly pose a threat to the Emperor's life, and ask no questions. As Intendant Moral says in the Elder Scrolls novel, The Infernal City, you are an instrument, a utensil of the Empire. With this in mind, the first two quest lines you should carry out are Destroy the Dark Brotherhood and the Civil War. They are directly related to the Emperor's safety and well-being, and should be top priority. The Civil War quest line becomes very fun when playing as this character, as it is easy to roleplay yourself as a special operative instead of a normal soldier. With this in mind, you can justify doing almost any quest line in the game, assuming you are taking the role of Inspector or Double Agent in hopes of investigating potential threats to the Empire. It is for this reason that the Imperial Spectre joins the Volkihar vampires on the mysterious island off the coast of Solitude. The Volkihar clan lived in relative seclusion and secrecy for generations, but their leader, Harkon, recently began a more aggressive campaign against the free peoples of the Empire. The best way to neutralize this threat would be to gain their trust from the inside by becoming one of them, and take Harkon out just when the moment was right. She has every intention to cure herself of vampirism in the future, but for now, the power it grants her is worth the disadvantages it brings. It is at this point that she truly becomes the antithesis of the Rebel. Both Cloak and Dagger, sword and board heroes of the Civil War, one a werewolf, one a vampire. Their inevitable battle would be the stuff of legends, if they were not hidden so deep in the shadows. She can also justify joining the College of Winterhold and the Thieves' Guild, as they are influential societies whose secrets must be revealed to the Empire. Her goal in becoming Archmage and Guildmaster must be simply for the sake of controlling these factions secretly in the name of the Emperor. It may help in the roleplay to wear college robes when interacting with mages, and Thieves' Guild armor when in the Ragged Flagon. This has no in-game effect, unfortunately, but makes for some really fun undercover roleplay. The main quest should also be a major focus for the Imperial Spectre, as Alduin is by far the greatest threat to the Empire. By stopping him from swallowing the world, you solidify your place as the greatest hero the Empire has ever seen, and elevates the prestige of the Penitus Oculatus. She is a purpose-driven, lawful, neutral character, performing morally gray actions with the bigger picture in mind. Relevant side quests include The Wolf Queen Awakens, Rise in the East, Siege on the Dragon Cult, and anything that involves taking down potential threats to the Empire. Moving on to the Imperial Spectre's weapons and armor. She, of course, wears the Penitus Oculatus armor, signifying her rank and position in the Force. Unfortunately, this armor can only be obtained by killing a Penitus Oculatus member, so we are going to have a break from the roleplay for one short moment to obtain it. The easiest way is to cast Fury on a basic agent in the Penitus Oculatus headquarters in Dragon's Bridge, and let Commander Morrow kill him. After this quick roleplay break, you will be set for the rest of the playthrough. She will also wear the Shrouded Boots, Shrouded Gloves, and Shrouded Cowl, which are used for aesthetic reasons, but also provide muffle and double backstab damage, which is super useful for this character. The deep red of the Shrouded set matches so well with the Penitus Oculatus armor and creates a really cool ninja-like aesthetic. The Shrouded set can be obtained during the quest Destroy the Dark Brotherhood, which should be done as early as possible in the roleplay. She will carry the Shield of Solitude, a unique shield that bears a fantastic magic resistance and fortify block enchantment. This is awarded after completing the quest, The Wolf Queen Awakened. For auxiliary gear, you will want to get your hands on a Ring of Fortify Health and an Amulet of Resist Fire. These enchantments are super helpful to overcome the weaknesses that come with playing as a vampire. The Imperial Spectre will carry 3 unique katanas that she will switch between depending on the combat situation. The first is the Standard Blades Sword. This can be obtained the earliest of the 3, and is used in standard combat scenarios when her powerful blade needs to be recharged. The second is Dragon Bane, which has the same base stats as the Blade Sword but provides a huge damage boost when taking down dragons. Her final blade is Harkon's Sword, obtained at the end of the Dawnguard questline. This unique katana has a slightly lower base damage than the Blade Sword, but bears a super powerful enchantment when wielded by a vampire, absorbing 15 points of health, stamina, and magicka. It unfortunately eats through its charge very quickly, so it's good to stock up on all the soul gems you can on your travels, in addition to carrying your standard Blade Sword to use if you ever run out. In terms of spells, the Imperial Spectre will not be perking magicka to use them, so instead of casting invisibility and healing, she will be crafting potions that provide the same effect. For her shouts, she'll be using Become Ethereal, Cyclone, Disarm, Elemental Fury, Ice Form, Marked for Death, Throw Voice, and Unrelenting Force. Disarm will be used very often, basically anytime she finds herself out in the open against a tough opponent. Ideally, she will remove her enemy's weapons before combat begins with the Misdirection perk, but Disarm is a nice fallback. Cyclone, Ice Form, and Unrelenting Force are great to use as silent surprise attacks, as the perk Quiet casting will allow you to use them while remaining undetected. You will want to level the Imperial Spectre with a ratio of 3 health to 2 stamina. While she can dabble in magic, especially if undercover at the college, she will not be using it regularly in combat, and will not need to allocate any perks to it. We chose to use the Lady Stone, as its stamina and health regen counteract the negative effects of being a vampire. She is, of course, an Imperial, granting her racial ability Voice of the Emperor, along with a handy +5 boost to the base stats of one-handed and block. By the time you reach level 40, you will want the following perks. In block, you'll want to take 1 perk in Shield Wall, Deflect Arrows, Elemental Protection, Block Runner, and Shield Charge. When combined with the buffs from the Shield of Solitude, the Imperial Spectre becomes quite the agile tank. In one-handed, take all 5 in Armsman, Fighting Stance, Savage Strike, and Critical Charge. Take 1 perk in Steel Smithing, which will allow you to improve the Penitus Oculatus armor, along with your 3 swords, and the Arcane Blacksmith, which will allow you to improve your shrouded gear. You will want to perk the Illusion Tree up to Quiet casting for silent shouts. The Imperial Spectre will not be casting spells, but shouts will make a huge difference in augmenting her standard sword and board combat. Grind up Illusion as quickly as possible so you can get access to silent shouts. They make a huge difference. In Sneak, you will want to take all 5 in Stealth, Muffled Movement, Lightfoot, Silent Roll, Silence, and Backstab. We don't feel Shadow Warrior to be necessary for this character, but feel free to add it if you would like. In Pickpocket, take 2 in Light Fingers, Night Thief, Cut Purse, and Misdirection. This will allow you to disarm your opponents before combat begins, giving you a huge advantage in infiltration. Finally, in Alchemy, take 3 perks in Alchemist, 1 in Physician, and 1 in Benefactor. This will help you craft healing potions for yourself, along with potions of invisibility. If you plan to play past level 40, you should definitely add more perks to block and alchemy, along with perking the light armor tree. Alchemy will definitely be used in higher levels, as poisons help drastically in prolonged combat. You can also place more perks and light fingers to make it easier to pick pocket weapons. Alright, it's time to move on to the Imperial Spectre's special moves. If you've watched any of our other videos, you'll know that we like to create fun move combinations unique to our specific character builds. These moves provide a unique flair to our characters and take them from good to great. The Imperial Spectre's first special move is called Spectre's Strike, which combines Silent Roll, Critical Charge, and Backstab. Silent Roll is considered running in the game, so when a power attack is timed correctly in a Silent Roll, you get a quick and deadly roll slash that combines the double critical charge damage with the ×6 damage from Backstab. This is a great way to take out opponents quicker than slowly sneaking up behind them. Her next special move is called Takedown. It is performed by combining the block perk, Shield Charge, with a potion of invisibility. Your enemies won't know what hit them when a sudden invisible force slams them to the ground, helpless. This is a great way to start combat, as it takes a decent amount of time for your opponent to recover. Finally, we have Silent Cyclone, performed by combining Quiet Casting, the Cyclone Shout, and a potion of invisibility. After shouting Cyclone, pop a potion of invisibility and run at the same pace as the Cyclone. You appear to take the form of a silent tornado, which we felt added to the ninja vibe of this character. Your enemies will scatter before you, allowing you to tactically eliminate the strongest enemies first. You can then slip back into the shadows, awaiting your next strike. And with that, we are ready to wrap up this build video. We wanted to make a unique Imperial variant of the Rebel, and based on all the comments we received on that video, you all wanted to see it too. We found the Imperial Spectre to be an incredibly fun infiltrator-assassin hybrid, while also being a staunch Imperial loyalist. We hope you enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed making it. We're so excited for you all to see what other builds we have in store this season. Thank you so much for your support, and if you like what we do, please like and subscribe to help us keep the magic of Skyrim alive. We'll catch you next time right here on Skypothesis.